1勝1敗で迎えたドジャースとパドレスとのペトコパークでの第3戦。2回裏にマチャド選手のトリッキーな走塁やロハス選手のまずいミスなどがあり、一挙6点を失い、次の回にはテオスカー・フェルナンデス選手のグランドスラムで1点差に詰め寄るもその後当たりが出ず5対6でドジャースは敗れました。そのマチャド選手の走塁についてとドジャースの投手陣についてや崖っぷちとなったドジャースの明日の試合について、FOX スポーツで議論されていました。
We start with Tatis, since we just heard him with Joe and John in the interview. Man, not only has he been lightning hot in these playoffs, he's got a flair for the dramatic because that place, the roof blew off with his home run. It ended up being the difference in the game.
He's the guy that people come to watch, and he's got so much flair, so much ability that when he hits home runs like that, he looks like he lives for his moments. And that fan base was going absolutely crazy today.
I love the fact that Machado is basically Tatis' role model. I mean, from the very beginning, when they start playing together, the relationship built up really well until the point where he's a leader for him and he speaks his brains up. They always talking about game situation, how they want to execute it. They had that communication in between the two of them, and here's the result. I mean, this kid, when he's locked in, he just had it for pitchers. I mean,
the first elements really start is Manny Machado, right? He gets on, and it looked like certainly something he did on purpose, which turned out to be brilliant, got in the way of Freddie Freeman's throw. We were talking whether or not it was interference, and it was not. And guess what? It kind of was the dam that broke that started the whole thing.
Yeah, Freeman, he's played that ball beautifully. He made a really nice play. He has a lane right at the shortstop, and that lane is supposed to be his. Machado, it turns out, made a brilliant play because the umpires did not call it. So it was a smart play. But the umpires could have called it the other way, and that may change not only the complexion of that inning, but the entire ballgame.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I've never seen that happen and not be called interference. To your point, brilliant by Manny because they didn't call it interference. But Freddie did exactly what he could. All he could do was make the throw, but no one saw it. I think what was more confusing is no one even asked about it.
Right.
You know, no one even brought it up. I found that to be a little bit confusing.
I guess the runner get the benefit of the doubt in that situation because your back is toward the first baseman. But I heard one of my sources called me during the game and told me,
I love it. Yes.
The Dominican Rosenthal right here.
There we go.
The Dominican Rosenthal right here. Don't forget about that. So one of my sources called me and told me that Manny used to practice that all the time with his former manager, Bo Showalter.
Oh, that's really interesting because when you think about it, so the runner, the rule is you can create your own lane. You can't intentionally interfere with the throw, right? So that's kind of open to interpretation. But Poppy, it's interesting you mentioned that because, guys, when we were watching it, it looked like he looked back at Freddie to see where he was and kind of shimmied over a little. So it looked like he did it on purpose.
Probably the first couple of steps, he did that. But in your mind, as a base runner, the first thing you do when you are running at first base is pick where the first baseman is playing at. So you have an idea where you want to go in case the ball is hit to the first baseman. That's what Manny especially did in that situation. He was aware. He was aware where Freddie was playing at, so he know where he's going to go. Because if you look at the play, he started running in the outside and then he took off into the inside. That means he was aware where Freddie was playing at. Look at the play right here. Look at the play. Couple of steps outside, and then he ran in. Boom. Smart play by Manny right there.
26 players that everyone's got to be available in whatever capacity. We've got to win tomorrow night to then pick up the pieces for Game 5. I don't know how that's going to look, but certainly these guys came out with energy. We responded with the big Teo homer, and I feel good about preventing runs, but again, we still got to play good defense too.
It's amazing. It's the same narrative for the Dodgers. Postseason starting pitching, and a lot of it, injury is involved. This year, they've put 1 million other starting pitchers on the injured list and haven't gotten them back. But it's like that's been their deal, right? They win all these games in the regular season. They don't have a healthy rotation. And I just wonder how they're going to try to piece it together to get to a Game 5 and then figure it out.
You know what I've been wondering, Kevin, and we've been covering the Dodgers because they're in this, playoffs every year.
Yeah.
Starting pitching is still a theme that works, right? It's been 4 years since a Dodger starting pitcher has pitched 6 innings in a postseason, in the entire postseason. It's never happened in the history of the game, 160 years, where the entire postseason, you've never had one starter go at least 6 innings. That's a problem this year, and it has been for a $300 million payroll.
Absolutely. But let me tell you, Kevin, when you are against the wall like that, tomorrow, before the first inning, everybody had their spies on the bullpen, ready to pitch an inning or whatever situation you had to face. Tomorrow, there's not tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Do you remember that?
It's late. Explain that one again. The folks at home need to understand this.
Tomorrow, there's not another tomorrow. You got to think about tomorrow so you can get to the next day. You like that?
Are you writing that, Kevin? Gee, did you get that?
Tomorrow,
How do you find
there is not tomorrow. From the great philosopher, Big Papi.
明日敗れるとディビジョンシリーズ敗退となり崖っぷちとなったドジャース。明日のドジャースの先発の発表はまだありませんが、パドレスの先発はシース投手が中3日で先発するとの発表がありました。パドレスは4戦目でホームでのシリーズ突破に勝負をかけてきています。明日はもう明日はないドジャース。どのような試合となるのでしょうか。今年一番の痺れる一戦となります。